All right, welcome in to episode number 85 of Tunesday Tuesday, brought to you by the Boston Chris Show, including myself. That's me, Boston Chris, the host of this fine program. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. I am really stoked about our guest this week, guys. I have known about Cody Cresswell for a minute. He is from my neck of the woods, really the county just north of us, and has a phenomenal brand new song out that we're going to chat about tonight, but also has just been killing it with song after song after song after song lately. And we're going to chat with him about everything he's got going on in the world of Cody. And we're going to do that right now, actually. Without any further ado, let's chat with the one and only Cody Cresswell. Cody, how you doing, man? Welcome in.
What's up, brother? I'm doing good. How about you?
Bro, I'm doing great, man. I was just telling everybody out there in the world of the interwebs that you and I are pretty much in the same part of the world. I think we're just a county away. Are you still in Hunt County?
I am. Yeah, I'm in Greenville right now.
Yeah, see, I am literally in Golden. Like, what, less than 40 minutes from you right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, in the same part of the world. And, man, has Hunt County and Greenville always been your home? Is that where you grew up?
Yeah, Hunt County, Greenville, Cattle Mills is where I went to school at. So I was in Mesquite, I think, till like third grade.
Man,
And I moved to Cattle Mills, and I graduated there.
I see the hat, bro. I see it now. Braden Stewart for another.
Oh, the Beast 2 hat?
Yeah, the other,
Oh, yeah.
the kid that is absolutely blowing up from this part of the world. We just had him on the show recently. And you use a lot of the same musicians as him. I know Brandon was on your song. And are you still working with War Room as well?
Well, we did Lost on a Barstool. We went and used Sunland Sound.
Okay.
War Room is what did Wicked World. We recorded the EP over there.
Right.
But yeah, Brandon's still playing with me. And they're over across the pond right now playing in the UK. But
Yeah.
yeah, a lot of the same guys around this area that we all kind of run around with,
Man, what is it about Northeast Texas? And maybe you can help me out, because there's so many of y'all right now that are coming up, from you and Colton and Braden and Mac, and with this just edgy, crazy good, like almost not country but not quite rock sound. Where is that being cultivated from around here?
Man, I think it's just the grittiness when you come out to this area. It's really it's not like the prettiest area to be in. There's not mountains. There's not
Yeah.
it's just blue collar out here. So I think that's a lot of what it is. It's a gritty blue collar area, and that's kind of how a lot of us grew up, and that's just how I tend to write songs.
Do you think like there's just a freedom creatively around here? Like you guys get to listen to whatever you want, so then you have all these ingredients in the recipe, so to
Yeah.
speak.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty much. I mean, if you ever sit down and hang out with a guy like Brandon Callie's, you get in a truck with him and he's listening to thrash metal or something, some crazy shit like that, and then kind of going all over the place. So
That's why when I saw the liner notes for the new single and saw that Brandon was on there, and then I saw Milo Daring's name on there as well, and I was like, kind of tilted my head sideways, like, okay, that's so cool.
yeah.
On the
It's
on the
awesome.
same
Well,
record.
there's just the hub out here, just in this area for musicians, is awesome. Even if I can't get a hold of Brandon for a show, because he's a busy man, but if you
Yeah.
can get a hold of one guy, you got 3 or 4 different people you can pull up, and a lot of that we can attribute to a guy like Brandon Callie's just kind of having a lot of those connections.
Yeah.
And whatnot.
What's the idea behind using multiple producers and engineers for different projects?
That's a good question. I wanted to try Sunland. So J Mike, he's the owner and producer over there. The engineer, does everything at Sunland Sound, and phenomenal guitar player. So on Wicked World, he did all the guitar tracks on that record. Actually went and did it remotely at his studio and had him kind of track everything. Just really cool guy. Enjoy him a lot. Wanted to go for a really laid back kind of feel on that song versus kind of where I was at on the other ones, and picked his ear on it a little bit, and he had some good ideas, and I kind of liked where his head was at, and we just went from there.
And I have been following you for a while, as you probably know. I'm just a huge fan of music, but Northeast Texas music in particular. You've had quite a bit of success on the country music charts in Texas. Does that surprise you a little bit, knowing that your sound is so gritty and kind of edgy? And
Yeah, yeah. And so like Lost on a Barstool, we leaned a little more towards like steel guitars and kind of having that natural country sound to it. But beforehand, we never really were doing that. It kind of was more on that red dirt kind of gritty rock and roll side of things.
yeah,
And somehow, yeah, we were making noise on charts. So I wasn't really expecting to, but it's definitely a cool thing to be able to do. And yeah, just especially when you look at what you're saying, the songs that I wrote and kind of didn't really necessarily fit that genre, I guess. But
yeah, I was just thinking, like in particular, San Antonio. I remember that shooting up the charts, and I think that was at least a top 20 hit for you. Like, and then you listen to the song, and the songs that's around it on the charts are just so different, and it was so good
yeah,
to see that. You know what I mean?
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's nice to see that the Texas infrastructure is being more accepting of different sounds and things like that. Talk about your songwriting a little bit, because for you it is very personal and very, very much a solo thing, isn't it?
Yeah, for me, I haven't dove into too much like writing and whatnot with other people. It's
Right.
usually me in a room with a guitar and a pen and a piece of paper and a little notebook, and that's just kind of how I do it. I don't really have a process that works the same every single time. Sometimes it's a little piece I wrote on the guitar, and I kind of can put lyrics or a melody to it. Sometimes it's the other. I'm driving in my truck and I come up with a melody or some one-line lyrics, and I can hurry up and write it down in my notes and get to the house and see if I can't put something to it with the guitar.
Yeah, it's very atypical for today's age. Usually, you get into a room with 3 or 4 people, and and then a song comes out of it. To write anything alone nowadays is very unusual. Um, what are the reasons for that? Is it just because it's a personal process, or it just doesn't vibe with other folks? Like, how does it work for you?
Um, it could be that it's a personal process.
Yeah,
'Cause like a lot of my lyrics are very personal. It's not something that I'm opposed to trying in the future, and I've actually talked to people about doing that, especially now that I'm kind of getting a little more seasoned with songwriting. Because being 32, I've only been doing this for 6 years. I wish I would have started a lot younger, but for a long time it was just personal. It was me kind of figuring out my way and kind of how I'd like to do the process and kind of that thing. Just figured out how I like to write songs. I didn't really know myself.
yeah, and I'd love to see you get into the rooms with some of those folks, that can kind of evolve your craft and
Right.
bring you to different places, because there's no wrong way, and the more ways that you know, the better off I think you are as a creator. Um, let's talk about the new single that you're here to discuss. It's called "Lost on a Barstool." It's only been out for a little while. Talk about this song. I know this was completely 100% you too, as well, right?
Yeah, that was one of those that I wrote that so the first line of the song is my tags are out more than they're in. Which is talking about my truck. I had a truck, and typically, if you were around me, my registration on that truck was usually out more often than I would have that actually up to date, and I would always get crap for it, especially from my fiance. Just go get it done. I was just bad about that.
Yeah.
And that was one of those situations. I was driving my truck, and that line kind of popped into my head, and so I got home, and the song started there, and kind of just rolled, and I wrote that hook about being lost on a bar stool. You can smell it on my breath, and I had one of those whoa, moments that was like I like that one a lot. So it's probably the song that I'm most proud of writing as far as lyrics, melodies, how hooky it is, and where it ended up at.
Do songs like this come from different places? I'm going to try to explain. So, like, you have that first line, my tags are more in than out, or however it goes. Do you end up getting other lines from different areas and then piecing them together later into one song? Does that happen for you often? You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, like just scrolling through the notes at times.
Yeah,
Or if,
yeah.
if you've wrote part of a song and you're kind of fishing for another line or something, there's several times where I have notepads or notebooks full of just random stuff that I jotted down, or notes in my phone that I can kind of dig through and, oh, this will fit in this song. And and use
Yeah.
it there. Yeah,
So you
absolutely.
can
That's
kind
good
of plug and play with verses and things like that and make them fit into songs, even if they're months or years apart that they were written in, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I've done that. I've done that a bunch of times.
And how does writing work for you? Is it hook based, or like is it usually lyrically, like you hear something, like a line or something like that, and then you build the story around that, or is it melodic, or can it be like all of the above?
It's kind of always been more all of the above. Some of it. So for instance, San Antone, that song isn't necessarily really a personal song to me. That was more of just a storytelling um, idea of a song, with it just a guy that saw the grass being greener with another woman, and I kind of just went from there. And then other songs like Lost on a Barstool, Missing Home, uh, Don't It Smell Like Rain, those are all a lot more personal, to where it maybe is more of I wrote something down and kind of spitball from there and just see where it went.
So you just
More
start,
personal and kind of like diary.
yeah. So a lot of times, a song can start from a very almost like a spear pointed idea, like having that line or two at the beginning, and then you just kind of flow from there. But a lot of times you can have the entire idea for a story and then write the lyrics for whatever the story is, whether it's heartbreak or or whatever the topic is. It could be loss or cheating or whatever, your truck, whatever, and then you formulate from there. It's
Right.
a lot more vague there. Are you more of a vague writer or more of a spear pointed writer, do you think?
Probably more of a vague, whereas I'll start writing and it kind of writes itself. The story will go from there, and it's not necessarily something that I have kind of completely panned out from start to finish. It is usually just an idea, and then it kind of writes itself as I go.
And are the melodies kind of adding themselves to the lyrics as you go, or is that a separate process?
That's usually just happening kind of at the same time. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
in my
interesting.
experience.
Yeah, that's really
Yeah.
cool. It's cool. I'm sorry, I'm really picking you apart on this. I don't get
No,
too
you're
many.
good, man.
I don't get too many solo writers on the show anymore. So it's interesting to hear the kind of the creative process behind a solo writer. Because usually, like a lot of these folks that co-write a lot, they'll have an idea or something. Maybe they're lyrically strong and melodically weak, and they'll just bring their lyrics to a melody writer, or vice versa. Somebody's got a really cool
Right.
melody and wants to add words to it, so they bring it to a lyrical writer. So to hear somebody who's doing both at the same time is just super dope. All right, so I'm going to put you on the spot, Cody. I told you I was going to do
All
this
right.
beforehand. I always I try to say, hey, check out an episode, right? Sometimes y'all do, sometimes you don't. But so we have this thing called Pick of the Week on this show. And so you get to pick any song in the history of songs to feature this week, and we're going to play it right after your song. So a lot of artists will either choose a song that inspired them in some way, or they'll choose this opportunity to play a song from a buddy or somebody that deserves more spotlight. Just a song that you really dig right now. So I've stalled enough, Cody. What is going to be Cody's pick of the week this week?
Oh man, yeah. See, that is a tough one. So, I mean, I want to go because it's if you pull up my likes and my Spotify right now, it's really heavy on Braden Stewart's side. But
Yeah.
you've had Braden on here recently,
Sure.
so I kind of want to lean towards a Michael Summers and do one of his. A really good friend of mine. So a Bad News Woman, or kind of something off of one of his singles, I think would be awesome. Is a Michael Summers song.
All right, so
what
tell
do you
us
got on
why
that?
you're choosing Michael in the song that you're choosing.
Well, so Michael's he's a funny guy. So if we're gonna do Bad News Woman, it's funny to go be at shows. We've done like song swaps and things where we've been in situations where there's that drunk lady that's up there kind of dancing, and it recently happened. And there was some drunk lady that was at a place that we're doing a crawfish bowl, that she was up there, and he goes, "Oh, this is perfect. I'm going to sing Bad News Woman." And so he started singing that song. And that's kind of how he wrote that song, was about that kind of woman in general. So he's just a really funny guy, a really good friend of mine. Also local Northeast Texas guy.
Yeah.
And just an awesome musician, which I think he's, slowly working on some music right now. And I believe he might be going to Sunland Sound as well. So
Very cool.
be on the lookout for his stuff. But yeah,
All right, yeah.
old
So we're
Michael
going to
Summers.
feature that song tonight. And if people are just hearing about you and everything you got going on, where can people follow along with the journey, Cody?
Facebook, Instagram. I don't really TikTok too much. I've been told I need to do that, so maybe that's something I'll start leaning towards. But yeah, I'm on basically all your socials, but mostly I'm active on Facebook
and is it Cody Cresswell everywhere?
Yeah, it should just be at Cody Cresswell or Cody Cresswell Music, wherever.
Okay, and it's just like it's spelled on your screen, but if you happen to be listening in the future instead of watching us live, it is CodyCresswell. So you guys follow along with everything this young man has going on. Hey, man, anytime you have stuff going on, just let me know, dude. We'll have you back.
Absolutely, dude. Appreciate you.
All right, we're going to get into the music. I appreciate you hanging out for a few.
Yes, sir.
All right, guys, we're going to get into the music. The very first song that we're going to play tonight is the brand new single from Cody. And again, it is called Lost on a Barstool. And it's the one and only Cody Cresswell for the first time here on the Boston Chris Show. Brand new music right here. Lost on a Barstool. Y'all check it out.
Tags are out more than they're in. The truck tells a story about the shape I'm in. Ball tires patching holes just to get me by. Mine's been singing all my songs. Can't seem to do it on my own. I'm just a starving up here, waiting on a fish to bite. Slow down, I think I'm losing my sense of direction. And I go right, and you stay left. Slow down, I think I'm losing my sense of direction. I got lost on a bar stool. You can smell it on my breath. And I got lost on a bar stool. You can smell it on my breath. Been smoking all damn day. I'm probably moving at a slow pace, and the busy bodies out there humming around. Kinda like a cloud in waves. We're here and then we drift away, so we might as well drift where we feel at home. Home is a smoky bar, pool players and no guitars. I'm sure I regret it in the morning. Slow down, I think I'm losing my sense of direction. And I go right, and you stay left. Slow down, I think I'm losing my sense of direction. I got lost on a bar stool. You can smell it on my breath. I got lost on a bar stool. You can smell it on my breath. We've all been lost on a bar stool. You can smell it on our breath.
All right, Lost on a Bar Stool by the one and only Cody Cresswell, and Cody's pick of the week is Michael Summers. Let me get to there. Bad News Woman. I can't wait. We're going to blind react this song from the one and only Michael Summers. Cody's pick of the week for episode number 85.
Once you walk through the door, moving all back and forth, making them sexy eyes. Got 'em big hand for more. Here you come walking over with sin in your hand. That's hard and I fight it. I step up, I give in. You're a bad news woman. I should have known better. Moment that I saw your face, just something about you puts me into a haze. I made mistakes, I live with that shame. Man, with so much to lose, no one else to blame. Yeah, you're a bad news woman. You're a bad news woman.
All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to another fabulous episode of Tunesday Tuesday, brought to you by the Boston Chris Show. And episode 85 is in the books with Cody Cresswell, singer-songwriter extraordinaire from Northeast Texas, Hunt County, Greenville to be exact, where they are, I don't know what's in the water up there, but they are certainly spurning out a plethora of incredibly talented folks up there. Man, what a freaking, I don't know, just something up there in the water, I guess. But guys, I hope you guys will follow along with everything Cody's got going on at Cody Cresswell. Get on his case about doing more TikToks. That's important. Do TikTok, Cody. It'll be good. It'll be fun for us, at least. So do that. Make sure you're streaming Lost on a Barstool, and of course his pick of the week, which was Bad News Woman by Michael Summers. I appreciate you guys tuning in. We're going to be doing number 86 in 90 minutes with Chase Reigns. Y'all don't go anywhere. I love y'all, and thank you for tuning in.